Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be changing out the rear differential fluid on my Toyota 4Runner. Now, I recently went through a re-gear and I've driven about 500 miles on these new gears, and it's about that time to change the rear differential fluid. So I wanted to make this video to show you guys exactly what's involved. The job itself is pretty easy and you're only going to need a couple tools. Now, Toyota doesn't really recommend when to change the rear differential fluid, but judging from experience from my dad, who owns a couple 86 and 85 Toyota pickups, he's never actually changed his differential fluid in the last 300,000 or 400,000 miles he's owned the vehicle. And he tows a trailer all day long with it. So you can kind of see it's probably not that critical to change the fluid, but if you want a peace of mind and you have a high mileage vehicle, I definitely recommend you do it every 50,000 miles or every 30,000 miles if your truck is really heavy or you do a lot of towing. And you can double those numbers if you're using synthetic oil. So let's go ahead and look at some of the tools you're going to need for this job. Here are the tools you're going to need for the job. You're going to need some kind of 1/2 inch ratchet with a 24 millimeter. You can also use a 15/16 inch. If you have that, it will fit as well. It's helpful to have a small 6-inch extension. This will allow you to remove the fill bolt because the e-brake line actually gets in the way. A torque wrench is helpful but not necessary. You're going to need some new crush washers. I have a little crush washer set here, but you don't actually need all these. This is useful if you're going to do the rear, the transfer case, and the front differential. If you're only going to do the rear, you can actually just buy 2 of these crush washers here, and I'll leave a part number in the description for you guys so you guys can find it easier. And then you're going to need some gear oil. You can just pick your favorite 80 weight 90, as long as it's GL4 or 5, it should work just fine. You're going to need about 3 quarts, and I'll put up on the screen how much you need for each different configuration depending on which 4Runner you have. In my case, I'm going to need 2.91 quarts, and then you're going to need some kind of pump to pump the fluid into the differential. And also, one last thing you're going to need is something to drain the oil in. So let's go ahead and get started with the job. Alright, first thing we're going to do is drain the oil, and before you take off the drain plug, you want to definitely take off the fill plug first, just in case you can't get it off for whatever reason. If, for example, you live in the Rust Belt, that might not come off. And if it doesn't come off, you have no way of refilling it, so it's best to just leave it if that's the case. So this here is the e-brake line. As I mentioned, you'll probably want to leave this loose, so don't engage the e-brake, because it definitely gets in the way if you do. Okay, that's good. So once you get it loose, it should just twist right off. We're going to do the same to the bottom here. 24 millimeter. Okay. Once they're all loose, you can just hand twist it off. You can take this one off first, so that way it comes out faster. Oh yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Well, there goes the crush washer, so make sure that comes off. We're going to go ahead and let that drain for a little bit, and we're going to prep our new crush washers. Alright guys, here are our drain plugs and fill plug. Now don't mix these up, and you don't want to mix them up, but there is an easy way to tell. One has a magnet on it. This one here is the drain plug. One thing you want to do is inspect it and make sure that there's not excessive metal shavings on there. And you'll see mine has a lot of fine or very small shavings, which is normal. And actually the reason for a lot of that is probably because I just re-geared my rear differential to 488 gears, and it's actually brand new gears in there. So if you see that, it's probably not a big deal, but if you do see big chunks and big chunks of metal, that's definitely not good. You should only be seeing very fine pieces of metal on this magnet. You'll definitely want to clean this up before you put it back in. So get it all cleaned up, and then you're going to want to put fresh washers on there. This washer is side specific. The rounded side goes towards the differential, and the flat side goes on the bolt itself. So there you go, hopefully you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and get it back on the vehicle now. Alright guys, as you guys can see, it is now fully drained, and it's just dripping out. You don't need to get it all out, but we're going to go ahead and put the drain bolt back on and torque it down to 36 foot-pounds with a brand new crush washer. Alright, that should do it. Alright, now that the drain plug is back on, we're going to go ahead and fill off the differential. And I just found out my pump is actually broken, so I'm going to have to figure out another solution. Alright guys, since my pump is broken, I found this extra jug of 80 weight 90 laying around that I use for various other things that I own. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up 1 quart at a time, and then I'm just going to pour it in through the fill hole and then refill it and keep doing that. I think that should work. Let's try it out. All right, guys, we got 1 quart filled up. Let's go ahead and try it out. Brake line's in the way a little bit. All right, just shove it in there and squeeze. All right, this is actually faster than using the pump. All right, so I'm going to keep doing this until it starts spewing out of here, which again is about 3 quarts for me. Might be 2.5 for you, but let's just keep doing that. All right, guys, as you can see, it is pouring out of there. That's good. That means it's full. And you better have your fill bolt ready here with the new washer. All right, we're going to torque it down to 36 foot-pounds. All right, that should be pretty much it. All right, you guys, that is pretty much the entire job. As I mentioned, it is very easy. You don't need very many tools. They are uncommon tools, but for the most part, you can find those at any Harbor Freight or any kit. The only thing you're really going to need is that 24mm and then that crush washer. I'm very happy that that 1 quart bottle saved the day. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to fill that differential, which would have been a problem. Last thing to do is take the 4Runner for a drive, come back here and make sure there are no leaks underneath. Once you do that, you should be good for at least 50,000 miles or whenever you decide to change your differential fluid again. Well, guys, hopefully you found the video helpful. If you did, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. It really helps my channel out a lot and also motivates me to make more videos for you guys. If you guys like content like this, don't forget to check out my channel. I have a lot of other videos on maintenance and mods to this Toyota 4Runner. As always, I'll leave links in the video description to all the products and torque specs for this video, so that way you guys can find it easier. And if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as soon as I can. As always, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a nice day.